I wanted to make a video about college football 27 and how we should be approaching dealing with the service academies with the new NIL in the game and the dynasty points. Now, on the surface, everybody's probably just thinking, what do you mean? We're just going to play like all the other teams. And you can do that, and that's completely fine. But if you want some more realism to it, this is kind of what I was thinking that I was going to do, and maybe some other people wanted to do too. So in real life, the service academy players aren't allowed to get NIL because they're considered government employees. They do get stipends minus their it's like a loan they have to pay back for all their all their combat gear, their books, their laptops, their all the different things they have to pay for. It's like 12,500 or something like that they have to pay back. So they get a salary minus whatever the money they have to pay every year towards back paying that loan back. And then as they get older, of course, the loan gets paid back, and then they make more money. So I guess it's like 1450 a month or something like that. But if they come in with a scholarship, of course, it's they don't have to pay as much back of the loan, so forth and so on. But essentially, they get around 1450 after the loan is paid off, and so every year as more is paid off, they get more money. So in the game, I was thinking that when you're recruiting, obviously, you really shouldn't be going after any players who want a lot of NIL. It's like in like a previous video, I talked about considering 5 points like $50,000 in real money. So I was thinking you could give incoming freshmen, either 0 up to 5 points in order to be able to recruit them. And for like your sophomores, juniors, and seniors, you would just go up 5 points every year that you could go up to kind of emulate the stipend that they get in real life. So the most you could give your players is 20 points for seniors. And so that's kind of how I was thinking to do it. I don't know how it's going to quite work out, but I was thinking it would be pretty realistic. I guess as realistic as you could get with the players and with the service academies, and trying to make it fun and not just like I'm going to go spend all this money on these service academy players and it not feel as real. Now, I'm not sure in the game if they're going to have any type of default things for those type of teams. So, of course, we don't know 100% just yet. But if they don't, what I was planning to do is to do that, which is for freshmen to give them 0 to 5 points, and then for sophomores 10 points, for juniors 15, and for seniors 20 dynasty points. And that would feel as realistic as it possibly could be. And you wouldn't feel cheated in the sense that, you're out there spending 200 dynasty points on a quarterback. And so that's how I was kind of going to go about it. Now, like I said, I don't know quite how it's going to work and the numbers behind it, like how much is that going to be for a whole team. And like I said, I plan to make a full video on it when the game comes out and breaking it all down exactly how I was going to do it. I think that would be really fun. And of course, you could even go as far as saying every freshman after the first year, because the first year you're not going to have any IL on the team. That I'm pretty sure. And then, so when you do the roster retention, you would give, you'd have to pay everybody, even if they didn't want anything. And so, because that would be considered their stipend, like the 5 points, the 10, the 10, the 15. So when you're recruiting, you had to give every freshman, whether they wanted it or not, or needed to get them to recruit them, the 5 points. I think that would be super cool. And I think that would be a fun way to play. Now, with that being said, with the transfer portal, having to deal with that with the service academy, then it's like, well, how am I supposed to keep players and not completely be gutted every single transfer portal because the game is going to have the deal breakers and they're going to want money and stuff like that? What I would think you should be able to do in this particular playthrough is to turn down the transfer chance for the player, for you. Leave it the same for the computer, but turn it down to a very small percentage, like 5 or 10. Because in real life, people can transfer from service academies before their junior year. And then they can't because they're locked in to be able to do, I think it's 5 years of back to service once they graduate. But if they leave before their junior year, they don't have to do that. So it does happen, but you can turn it down to where it's like a very small chance to be able to like make it more realistic in that standpoint. where you're not dealing with having to replace 20 or 30 people in the transfer portal. So I think that's going to make the service academy rebuilds, Army, Navy, Air Force, super fun. I feel like that's going to, especially with all the program, all the changes with a dynasty blueprint, and I don't know, it's just going to make it feel like as close to realistic as possible. And like I said, this is something I was thinking. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to completely work out, but I think it possibly could, and it would make it super fun because you're having to compete against the modern day NIL like they do in real life, where they're not paying the players a whole bunch of money to come to. They're coming to it for the for the education and to be able to serve, and but they still love football and they want to play for 4 more years. And you can't redshirt at the service academies, or you're not supposed to. You could even go as far as you're not going to recruit, the JUCO players. Obviously, you're not going to have transfers coming in. So, I mean, it would be a completely, different type of a rebuild. But I think it would be super fun. And like I said, I'm not sure if anybody else has talked about this or not. I haven't seen it, but it's something I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks as I'm waiting for the game to come out and trying to see like what different kind of rebuilds I can do. And this is one that has really stuck with me. And so I want to make a video about it so other people can do it too. And then once the game come out, like that's the first rebuild that I do. And I'm gonna make a video about it and post it as soon as I possibly can, so people can kind of see how it's actually going to work. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But like I said, I don't know how it's gonna work out. But if you don't want to do that and you just kind of want to have some type of, part of it, you could just kind of have like an immersive feeling of like they passed a law where you can pay the players now, at the service academy. So then that will make it not feel so unrealistic. So that's one way you could kind of do that too. But I don't know. Like I said, I think it's going to be cool. I can't wait to try it. Again, what I was thinking is to pay the players their monthly stipend, and every year it goes up, 5 points, because they have been at that point they would have paid off their loan for their the combat gear and the laptops and all the things they have to pay for when they first enroll. You would be able to implement like the kind of like the ladder system of freshman, sophomore, junior, senior of you know kind of making that feel more realistic of how it is in real life with the stipend that they get. So I don't know. Like I said, we'll see how it plays out. They also get like a per diem during bowl week. I think it's like $100 a day. I'm not sure how long they're there. You could even find a way maybe to throw another 5 points to it if you make a bowl game that year. I mean, obviously that would take some like writing stuff down and stuff, but I think it'd be fun, and I can't wait to try it. Again, you guys, thank you for watching this video, and I'll let you know when I post the next video about this when it comes out on July 2nd. Thank you, guys.